I'm going to be spending my next 100 days in Pixelmon. If you don't know what Pixelmon is, think Pokemon in Minecraft. And since I've loved Pokemon from a very young age, I couldn't wait to play. So when the server PokeLands reached out to me, I know what I had to do. And don't worry, I put the tutorial on how to play with me down below in the description, so that I'm not alone on these 100 days. In my time spent on this server, I trained up the best Pokemon team I could think of, built an entire village that you can come join, and overall conquered every single aspect of this server. If you guys do enjoy this video at all, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. We just hit 100K and I cannot thank you enough. Deep down, I appreciate each and every one of you. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy as I conquer my next task, Pixelmon. As soon as I got onto PokeLand, I double jumped through, basically allowing me to fly, and checked out the 3 separate realms: Forest Realm, Tundra Realm, and Oasis Realm. I'm going to be playing on Forest Realm, so you can go check this out and see me over there. As soon as I logged on, I was prompted to pick one of my starters. Of course, they have some really cool features with this. They have the original starters and custom starters. I went with the custom starter. Younger me would be kicking my shins if I didn't pick Abra, so of course I clicked Abra. Once I was out of starter select, I was able to check out the spawn in all of its entirety. It even looks like it's been winterized. I typed in /vote, got prompted with the vote request, and voted for the server. I got a free vote key, which lets me open up the vote crate. Type in /vote as I did, and you're going to be able to open this crate just like I'm about to. I was also told there's a vote shop. By doing /vote, you can check out the vote shop and even get master balls for just voting for the server. Alas, my vote crate gave me $1,200, but you can get some really cool stuff from this, including your own master ball. After that, I checked out the /jobs feature and got myself 3 separate jobs. I got builder, trainer, and miner. Those are 3 jobs that I can pick because I am a rank on the server. If you guys do want to rank on the server, the link will be down below, and then you can select just as many jobs as I have. As you just saw, I kinda typed in RTP. However, this server has a feature called BRTP, which lets you select the biome you want to go to, so of course, I'm gonna go to a spruce biome. That night, I was successful in punching down my first tree. Yeah, you see those tools in the hotbar, right? I didn't. I later fixed the issue, but not before embarrassing myself in front of the server owner. Man, I'm just that good. Day 2, I started realizing all of the stuff that actually comes with the second highest rank on the server. I was able to start rolling keys, including a shards key, which gave you shards for a Pokemon that you can eventually earn. These shards keys can also be earned with /jobs, so I'm not the only one who's getting them just because I have a rank. Overall, rolling these keys was just for fun. All the Pokemon that I'm getting now, I'm not going to be using. At least not for right now. I don't see why I should be using legendaries on day 2. I want to grind just like you guys will, so I put them all on my PC and went out with my Abra. I did not realize how bad this Pokemon was because it literally only had teleport. I later tried using the /pokebuilder command so that I could maybe level him up based off the things I got from the crates. I know I said I wasn't going to be using stuff, but these are just points I kinda got with the rank as well. I leveled him up to level 20, thought I got him some moves, and he still only had teleport. At this point, I was getting my butt kicked by like sheep, okay? A Minecraft sheep could have kicked my Pokemon in the face and I couldn't do anything about it. So I'm not proud of it, but I did /PC, grab myself out a Bayleaf, and then started wrecking on some Pokemons. I mean, I literally one-shot the rat that I couldn't even touch earlier. After that, I tested out some of the kits on the server and got myself some really amazing diamond gear. Thank you, YouTube rank, which is technically just mythical rank with a different tag. Day 3, I attempted to claim land probably 15 or so times. Yeah, brain function wasn't that high that day. Apparently, I was claiming over my own claim, which doesn't make sense why they don't merge, but okay, you know what? I just have to accept it. Eventually, I finally figured out how to claim land, and this was going to be where I made my own starter village. After Bayleaf stomped his cow Pokemon, Abra started evolving. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but I don't question politics. Maybe now that he's Kadabra, he'll actually learn some moves to help in battle. Thankfully, he did learn a move, Confusion, and he slapped a sheep in the face. After that, I spawned in my starter home, which is just going to be a temporary base. Everybody gets these when they join the server, so you can have one just like it. Just click on the star like I did. Spawning in that starter house made me really want to build my own, so I BRTP'd to a taiga and started cutting down some trees. I mean, even in 1.12, I'm still going to use spruce. It's great in every version. A daylight cycle of leaving floating trees everywhere, I moved on to my next material. I went to a beach and grabbed as much sand as I could because I didn't know if I was going to do a ton of windows or little. Plus, an efficiency 5 shovel from this kit that I have is a little overpowered, so I didn't really need this much sand, it just gave it to me. After that, I scoured the world for andesite, figuring that that would be a nice block to have. By nightfall, I got home and started waiting for my sand to cook. Now on to everyone's favorite, terraforming. I cleared out some land for our house and then started working on the outline. Of course, I'm gonna go medieval. Even in Pixelmon, I still want to stick with my theme. And while my mini-me is currently building the house for me, does anyone know what a good Pixelmon team is? Because I have no clue. I know that thanks to the rank, I have access to spawn in some legendaries that I might have to end up using later on, but for now, I have a Abra that's like level 30 and a Bayleaf that's level 20. Combined, they barely took down a sheep. At some point in these 100 days, I want to take on a raid boss, and currently, I don't know how I'm going to do that with the team that I'm rocking. I'm thoroughly hoping that throughout these 100 days, I'm going to be easily able to level up all of my Pokemon that I capture and get to level 100, but for now, it's a little bit of a risk. Oh, looks like Mini-Me's done. Okay, back to the video. Now that the real house is done, I went through and added all of the aesthetic. I added windows to the front and back, and then I went interior and started decorating the inside. Obviously, it's a pretty small house, and I don't have as many blocks as I want to use for the interior, so it's going to be pretty simple. Added an upstairs with my bed, and then a chest area with some furnaces in the floor. Then I went around the base and added some really cool leaves just to give it some aesthetics, and after that, I was pretty much done. Time to take down the spawned-in starter house. Now that our house is done, we can start working on one of Pixelmon's most appreciated farm. The apricorns are essential to Pixelmon because otherwise you can't really make Pokeballs. However, on this server you can use /shop to buy apricorns, Pokeballs, anything like that, whatever you need. But if you were to just play this mod pack on your own, you need apricorns for a lot of stuff. So what I ended up doing was placing them in a random order and then grabbing a bunch of leaves to put around them so that they had their own mini farm. I think overall this just looks really cute, and I just wanted to do a little homage to one of the only things added for farming in Pixelmon. After that, I started working on my second farm I was going to add to my little village. Of course, I'm going to have to supply everybody who lives there, which is just me right now. But if you guys do type in /PW on the server and then click on the chest and the ender chest, you'll end up here. So like I was saying, I'm going to be adding a wheat field here so I can feed all of the residents. To be honest, it's really just for aesthetic, and I kind of always love the look of wheat fields. Yo, do they even have carrots and potatoes in 1.12? Oh, I gotta figure this out. Took me a while to get this complete and fully hoed down and outlined with leaves, but I finally got it done. We now have a fully operating wheat farm. Of course, I'm probably never going to harvest this thing, which means it'll never get filled out. Hopefully it'll get filled out. Remind me to get it filled out, please. I just want to look at it when it's fully grown. Hey, don't be mad. Day 8, I accidentally kind of recorded the Technic launcher instead of this dock. I mean, I wanted to add something here for boats anyway, but I mean, it kind of looks like a turtle to me. I don't know why, but it looks like a turtle, and I just forgot to record it. So, yeah, let's get past this part. All right, I've been building for a very long time now. I figured it was time to get some levels on my Pokemans, and this is like the free area for training levels, so I figured I'd head over here and see how well I could do. Right off the bat, my Kadabra was able to defeat not only a level 70 Zubat, but a level 77 Metapod. This guy's not even level 40 and he's taking out all these guys. This is awesome. Plus, this training area gives me a ton of XP for Pokemon, so I don't have to run out in the wild and find like level 16s. All this leveling stopped when I lost to a Caterpie, okay? I was done after that. Me losing to a Caterpie is probably the worst thing that's gonna happen in these 100 days, so I knew what I had to do. I had to go find a team that I could level up and never lose to a Caterpie again. And that's exactly what I went on doing, finding Pokemon that I really want. I used /GTS, which is the player ran market, to find a Pokemon that I could afford, that I could level up, and that I could have forever. I personally found a Gibble, and I cannot wait to have a Garchomp. After that, I went to Warp Shop to see if there was an XP share. From there, I teleported to the server shop, where I was able to find a guy who did sell an XP share. Right after that, I was informed that there was an XP all on the GTS, and I bought that instead. Basically what it does is it gives all of the Pokemon that I have in my party XP. It shares it basically between all of them instead of having me buying more XP shares. From there, I went in search of more Pokemon that I want and stumbled upon a Larvitar. I whipped out Gibble to fight him so that I didn't insta-kill him and actually caught this guy. This is what, technically my first caught Pokemon? Oh, I'm a bad YouTuber. But truly, my search was for a Railu. I spent an entire day looking for this guy. Railu and Lucario are probably my favorite Pokemon, and I just had to have one. So yeah, maybe I kinda abused my YouTube tag a little bit and asked if anyone had any. Then some guy put a shiny level 100 perfect EVs on GTS, and yeah, I bought it. I didn't actually realize he was level 100 until day 11. Speaking of day 11, I was flying around the safari when a Decoy Zapdos spawned right above me. I went up to it and had barely any clue what this thing is. But if I would have used /Decoy, I could have seen the rewards I get for beating this thing. However, it's a tier 1 level 100 Zapdos, and I'm still rocking like level 7s. So within my first attempt, I was absolutely stomped. My level 40 Kadabra and my level 100 Lucario literally stood no chance. It's unfortunate too, because I would have loved to see what I got from this guy. After that, I ran into an uncommon boss, and that thing was level 110 because of my Lucario, and that's when I finally realized that my Lucario was 110. Thankfully, it was no issue, and it died very quickly. I don't think this is anything good, but I put it on GTS anyway. I really don't know the prices of stuff. Then after demolishing a level 16 Flaffy, my Magikarp decided to evolve into a Gyarados. This was going to be my water Pokemon for at least the foreseeable future, and it's so tiny. I love this thing. I didn't think a Gyarados could be so cute. Then I decided it was time I took advantage of our donor rank. I warped XP and it was time to defeat level 175s that don't hit back. And with this XP all, every single Pokemon continued leveling up. Yeah, I did not leave here for days. By the time I was done in here, I had an evolved Pupitar and a Garchomp. And somehow, magically, all of my Pokemon were like above level 50. That's so crazy. Day 15, a raid boss spawned. This has been the first one on the server, and I decided to try and fight it. These things are known for having massive amounts of health, and literally none of my Pokemon could do damage to it. I mean, none. It looked like it was hitting, but they really weren't. The worst part about it is that I pulled out my stash of rare candy, leveled up my Gyarados all the way up to level 100, and he still couldn't hit the Victini. This was probably the saddest day. I mean, okay, second saddest day. That Caterpie still haunts me. After that epic fail, I warped to gyms to check out if I could beat any of these easy gyms. Now, I had a feeling I'd be able to rock it in this section, but I was a little hesitant. First gym I took on was the Fire Gym, and it basically capped out my Pokemon for me so I didn't have to worry about getting a different team. That's something I really like because I have played on other Pixelmon servers before and I've had to go get a team that is already low enough. This one just took my amazing Pokemon and capped it for me. Gotta love it. Also, this gym wasn't too shabby for me. I was able to beat this pretty easily. Especially since he only had 3 Pokemon and I had 5 or 6, it wasn't very fair. Although, I gotta say, my Pokemon are a little OP, so I don't think 6 would have really mattered. I also have this bracelet that instantly makes them the Dynamo thing or the Mega, whatever, I don't know. So I definitely used that against all of his Pokemon and it was no problem. I also kind of forgot that I had a Gyarados and didn't even use him until the very last second when his Pokemon were on like 1 HP. Not a very good call. Then I ventured over to the Water Gym, which actually maxed our Pokemon out at 40, and thankfully all of my Pokemon were above 40 at this point. This gym did not take long at all, and I was able to defeat it as well. Each gym I got 16 rare candy for beating, so I'm already back up to having a lot in my stash. Plus, now I've got 2 gym badges to show that I'm actually not that bad. Okay, the raid boss and the Caterpie showed me up, but I can beat gyms for some reason. So day 17, I wanted to focus on my Kadabra, or more likely, my Alakazam. I TP'd over to a friend who was playing on the server, and I was able to evolve my Kadabra into an Alakazam thanks to trading. From there, I really wanted to work on my Alakazam. This was my starter Pokemon, and in the beginning, I kinda dissed him, so I really want to keep him on the team. From there, I went to Warp XP and leveled him up all the way to level 100, because, I mean, obviously, that's the max. Then after that, I spent a couple days working on his Eevees. I got a glass cannon type set for him. I really don't know how Eevees work, but basically he should be really good with special attack, and his defense is kind of low, and his speed is extremely high. So he may not have the best health, but he's going to do a lot more damage, which is the whole phrase of the glass cannon. After I'd gone through and gotten all of his Eevees up, I wanted to focus on his moves a little bit. I looked up the best move types, which I wasn't really sure about because I wanted to keep him more psychic, but I think overall these moves are going to be really, really nice. I gave him Nasty Plot, Dazzling Gleam, and Focus Blast, I believe? Overall, I think he's pretty strong. After that, I wanted to see how we would do against a boss Pokemon, so I went to Warp Safari and never ended up finding what I wanted. I really wish there would have been a little bit more boss spawns here, but I guess I just got really lucky the first time I visited. Then I realized I was getting short on money, so I decided to abuse the YouTube rank. I renamed a diamond Welcomin's Shiny Diamond and then put it on auction for $250,000 because, well, I'm a YouTube rank, right? Yeah, within like 3 seconds, someone bought it. I mean, it was so quick. It's amazing. And I think it was one of the staff members as well. He said he would cherish it, so don't worry. He's going to take good care of that thing. And if you want it from him, you're going to have to pay a lot, okay? because that thing is expensive for some reason. After that, I wanted to explore the nether because I really need a good fire type. I warped there and then realized that you can probably die here. One of those places you don't want to visit without armor, at least I think. So I went into shop and bought myself an entire stack of diamonds. Yeah, I definitely didn't need this many, but I mean I can. I just sold a diamond for $250,000. Each of these is like candy to me. Then I started looking around the nether, and some of these Pokemon were a little bit interesting. I ran into a Sizzlipede, and I thought that maybe it was the, de-evolved version of a Salazzle. It really wasn't. My goal was a Salazzle because I don't know why, I just really like her. Eventually, I found the de-evolved version of a Salazzle, which I currently don't have on screen, so I'm just gonna go with this. It's a Selenite? I don't know, whatever it is, you're laughing at me for it. But I ended up catching this guy. Yeah, I got impatient and used a Master Ball, but I have 19 thanks to GTS, so I don't really care. Alright, so now that I have this Pokemon, I really want to level it up because I do want this guy on my team. I don't know exactly why I wanted a Salazzle, but when I looked up fire Pokemon, she kind of stood out. So we went to Warp XP just to get this guy all the way to level 100. However, halfway through, I realized that they were not evolving. I don't know why. I read that they were supposed to evolve at 33, and apparently the wiki that I went to also said that males just evolve into females because Salazzle is supposed to be a female. But unfortunately, it just really wasn't happening because this guy's a male. So I don't know why this wiki has its wires crossed, but it really screwed me over. I even warped to a friend, Winter, and we tried trading it. It didn't work either. So I just went back to Warp XP, leveled it all the way up to level 100, and then I figured it out later, and I still haven't recorded that part yet. See, I'm actually voicing this over while recording at the same time, so I mean, it's getting a little bit easier, but the naming of the Pokemon is still throwing me off right now. Once I finally got this guy all the way to level 100, I had to work on his EVs. So I went to the EV shop, got rid of all of his EVs, and then went through the process of training his speed, his special attack, and a little bit of his defense. Overall, this doesn't take too long, but still, takes up time in a 100 days video because it's grindy. Honestly, we'd probably be on day 50 by now if I didn't have Warp XP, so that's amazing right now because I can focus way more on Pokemon instead of actually having to go around and fight all the Pokemon I find in like a plains biome. Definitely worth having the rank. Alright, so day 28 and 29, I wanted to build a spawn area for all of you guys to come visit my place. Basically, you can have a player warp, and I really wanted to set up a little tower that you guys could all spawn at, and it would look super cool, but I also wanted to use the worst block in Minecraft, birchwood. And then I also decided to make the pristine decision and get prismarine blocks and dark prismarine and spruce. And then pink glass. I combined them all into a build, and oh, you guys are gonna watch this. This is gonna be the tower that all of you guys will be spawning at my area, and I know that it's crazy to be using birch and then pink with blue. It's not a good concept, but I'm gonna do it. Overall, I think this thing turned out very interesting, and I kind of don't hate it for some reason. And I kind of rushed through this thing because I really wanted to get a player warp down, even though you guys won't see this 100 days yet. But overall, it turned out well. Then after that, I started laying out another farm. I know that there's really no use to these things except for decorations, which is what their use is. So yeah, I laid out another one right next to where you guys warp in, and then I made a pathway to it and to the tower. Obviously, I want you guys to be able to get around here very nicely and very neatly. Okay, don't ruin my area. So paths just make sense. After that, I did a little bit of decoration, planted some seeds, and boom. Now we have another farm that looks great, a gigantic tower that I don't know why I put pink glass in, and pathways. Overall, the area is looking great. Alright, day 30, I tried my absolute best to get a Salazzle. Remember how I couldn't evolve this guy? Well, it's because he's male, so I flipped the genders, and now it's a female. Wow, that's kind of keeping up with the times, huh? Then after that, I simulated some trades, worked with some helpers, and it wasn't evolving. I have literally no clue why. I mean, I let a helper try and work on it for a little while, and I wasted some time sitting there, but he had some cool Icarios around, and it just never happened. After that, I had to contact the owner of the server just to evolve this thing for me. I have no clue why it wasn't working, but now I have the Salazzle that I actually wanted, which will be my fire poison type Pokemon. After that, I of course had to spend the next day going through and getting all of her moves set. I had to go back and forth between the wiki to find all of the moves because I am a noob and yeah, I look stuff up. The first one I had to get was Fire Blast, and then it went to Sludge Wave, and then Hidden Power, which I still don't completely understand. It says Hidden Power Grass on the wiki, and I just grabbed a Hidden Power. Not sure if this is good or not, but I might switch it to a fire move later. At least I now have a pretty decent Salazzle, and I'm not too worried about her in battle. Alright, day 32 was an especially stupid day. I was going to start setting up a player warp so all y'all could come to my village and hang out with me at any point. However, as soon as I made the player warp, I couldn't manage it for anything. I started trying to rename it, but the name was literally just New Warp. Eventually, I read the actual stuff and figured out how to rename the thing, and then I started guessing color codes until I got red, purple, light red. After that, we finally settled on the name Welcomin's Humble Village. So if you guys go to /PW, you can view all of the warps, and mine is currently the top warp, which means that any point, anytime, you guys can come over and visit my little village. Boy, was that a mess. So while I was AFK looking at color codes to fix up my /Nick, an Elytra popped up in my inventory. Actually, one of the helpers kind of gave it to me when they warped to me, but I was tabbed out, so it didn't really kind of catch it. That's on me, I'm so very sorry, but you know, I really wanted a /Nick, I don't know. It was called Versus Elytra, which is actually one of the admins, or I think co-owner of the server, so I think one of the helpers either stole it or got it from him and then gave it to me. Yo, wait a minute, what if it's like hide this from Verse? Oh, what if he just gave it to me because he didn't want Verse to know where it was? You know what, if that was his play, very, very sneaky. If I get caught with it, I'm gonna find you, I swear. Other than /nicking so that my name was red, I kind of was AFK for another reason. I needed seeds to finish off the farms because, as you guys know, they are completely empty. Basically, I advertised in chat that I need seeds, and some guy ran around the plains biome for a solid 20 minutes and picked up as many as he could. He did this twice, in fact, for me, and I paid him 5k each time for it, but I mean, come on, I didn't have to do the work. It was great. I was honestly interacting with chat during this time, and it was a lot more fun kind of just chilling, relaxing instead of punching grass. But once he did, I was finally able to finish these farms 34 days later, and the farms are actually planted. What are the odds? From there, I wanted to max out my team. I currently have all level 100s, yes, but the EVs are not perfect and their movesets are not done at all. First up was Gyarados. I took him to Warp EVs and we started training. He had a very interesting set, so it wasn't like 252, 252, 6. Instead, it was like 70, 30, 10, something like that. He was probably the hardest one to do. Well, okay, he was probably the second hardest one to do because he had a weird EV set, but overall, it didn't take too long. After that, I went ahead and bought all the moves for him because, well, I wanted him to have a certain type of moveset, and I actually probably wanted him to have more water type, but it's fine. The moves I gave him were Dragon Dance, Taunt, Waterfall, and Stone Edge. Obviously very little water moves, but I think it diversifies the Pokemon a little bit more, and I can use them more. Alright, so now that Gyarados is done, it's time to move on to Garchomp. Garchomp is probably one of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm excited to get him a moveset. First up were the EVs though, because his were not looking too hot. I upped his special attack and his speed, and he was basically a glass cannon as well. I feel like I have a lot of those, so basically my team's a glass cannon at this point, but it's fine. After his EVs were settled in, I started getting him his movesets, which include Swords Dance, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Stealth Rock. I decided to keep him away from the dragon moves because I already have a Gyarados. And since we have 5 out of 6 of our Pokemon done, it's on to Tyranitar. This guy is probably one of the most annoying I've had to do, but I'll explain why. After removing all of his IVs, I started working up the ones that I wanted, and for some reason, it wasn't working. His defense just kept going up while I was practicing his speed or his special attack. I later realized that there was a power band on him, which literally increases his defense as I attack and kill people, so I mean, that was useless. I spent a day doing that. It's like claiming all over again. What am I doing? This is what happens when you're new to a mod and you know absolutely nothing about it. But eventually Tyranitar actually did get all of the EVs he needed, and he was 100% exactly where I wanted him. So I was gonna go work on Tyranitar's moveset, except for the fact that I found an Alakazamite in /GTS. Apparently that means that he's supposed to be able to Mega Evolve, but I truly have no idea how to do it. I tried fighting somebody and it just went to the max dynamic or dynamo max. It just did the thing that it normally does when I press the button. I hope I didn't purchase that for nothing, because I would really like to be able to Mega Evolve my Pokemon. I don't know how. After that, I noticed that there was a raid for dark type moves. My Tyranitar actually does have a dark type move, and I decided to use that to see how much damage I could really do to this guy. Eventually, after 8 minutes and dark type moves like slowly fading away so other moves will work, I kind of did quite a bit of damage, and well, I mean, he didn't die because I was like the only one doing damage, but I did a lot. Almost 18,000 damage from your boy, and I was basically the only one doing damage. There was another guy with like 4k and then 200, but we didn't really get close to killing the Pokemon at all. So I got nothing, but it was fun. Then after that failed boss attempt, I went ahead and gave Tyranitar the moveset that I wanted. I wanted it to be a very branched out moveset, so Earthquake, Dragon Dance, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch. A lot of variation in there, but I'm hoping eventually it'll prove to be worth it. After having a fully maxed team, I really wanted to go to Warp Safari and test out my skills. Basically, nothing could face me. But it was fun though, getting out and actually killing wild Pokemon, going against trainers, and even finding some bosses along the way. Overall, all of my Pokemon are one-shotting everything in Safari, and I cannot wait to go to the Dark Safari and actually check out not only my PvP skills, but also my Pokemon's PvP skills. If you guys don't know already, if I go in there and I die, I basically lose a Pokemon, $5,000, all of my items, everything is gone if I die in there. But hopefully by then I'll have a backup team just in case one of my Pokemon get taken away. Alright, so now that I do have this max team, I figure I should finish all of the gyms that I previously decided not to. First up was the grass gym, and I was just ready to go. He only had 3 Pokemon. Obviously, it maxed it maxed out all of my Pokemon at level 50, and it was just time to try and kill everyone. Salazzle had this one under control because of Fire Blast. It was literally one-shotting every single Pokemon, and that's exactly why I got her. This gym was super easy, and it was time for the next one. This one was the electric gym, and I wasn't too concerned because it was still a 3v6. I started off with Salazzle again, and I don't really have any moves that are going to help against electric, so she did okay, but died. After that, it was Alakazam's turn, and he ended up killing the first Pokemon, deleting the health of the second one, and then fainting. From there, Tyranitar used some very questionable moves. It wasn't me, by the way. I had no control over this, and fainted after Ice Punch. He did, however, kill that one guy, so I guess it helps a little bit. And then from there, I pulled out Lucario to finish off the battle with close combat, and you know what? It was very, very simple. It was only a level 60 gym anyway, so I wasn't expecting too hard of a challenge. The next one I fought was a fighting gym, and I did not expect it to be this tough. It started off with a level 70 Lucario, which is exactly what I have, and I didn't even see it until, like, well, a few Pokemon fainted. Tyranitar was gone, Lucario was gone. I thought all hope was lost until I pulled out Garchomp, and Earthquake actually rocked some stuff. From there, I picked Stone Edge, and I wasn't liking my chances here. Until Earthquake started doing some heavy damage and one-shot every single left Pokemon. I mean, it was insane. Garchomp MVP. Okay, so this battle right here is against the Poison Gym, and this is probably the 6th time I have done this battle. I finally started learning moves and started doing all that kind of stuff, and I started off with Salazzle, but had to quickly switch her out so that I didn't risk her life, hoping that the type difference between Salazzle and Gyarados would not kill him instantly. Basically, every one of this guy's Pokemon would heal themselves at any point, and it was so very annoying. And then every single time that I started switching out Pokemon to counter the moves of his Pokemon, he would switch out Pokemon and do the exact same thing. So these bots are incredibly smart, and I really love these gyms. At one point, I literally had to pull out Garchomp just to be the sacrifice play because otherwise there was nowhere I could go. My only thought process was, well, okay, first off, I'm playing against an AI, but my thought process was truly, if I can get him to kill one of my Pokemon and make it more of an even fight for him, then he'll leave in some of his Pokemon instead of switching them out all the time. So Garchomp was the unfortunate sacrifice play, but then he pulled out his extremely powerful Pokemon and my Lucario was able to Dynamax up and one-shot it. From there, yeah, it did die, which is very unfortunate because not only did that die, my Gyarados also insta-died, and then my Salazzle also insta-died, leaving only my Tyranitar and my Alakazam. The worst part about it was I took out my Tyranitar when he pulled out his Muck, and I could have used Alakazam to just one-shot Muck with my Psychic move, and this was a bad time. Thankfully, Tyranitar was able to use Stone Edge to kill Muck, but Stone Edge ran out as soon as he started fighting Weezing, and I just had to pull my punches and use Ice Punch just to get some damage in. I then decided to sacrifice Alakazam's health, and it actually worked because he only poisoned me. Then I used Psychic to do the last and final blow, and we finally beat the Poison Gym. However, that was only the level 80 gym. Next up was the normal gym at level 90. From there, I finally figured out how to mega up my Alakazam, and truly it didn't actually do as much as I thought it would. Maybe Dynamax is better? I actually don't know. But basically, I used Alakazam to only use Focus Blast, which is a fighting move, and it really destroyed the Blissey. Then up next was a Porygon 2, and my Alakazam was extremely low, and I was just hoping I could get this last shot in. Thankfully, Porygon went down to 37 HP before my Alakazam was out of there. Next up was Lucario, and of course I use Close Combat because it's a fighting type move, and it is my most powerful with my Lucario. He literally started running trains through these Pokemons, and then I really didn't want to switch him out, and I was going to because I didn't want to risk his health. But then I just decided to go for it with Close Combat and hope that he would attack first, and he one-shotted the next Pokemon. From there, it was me versus Ditto. The Ditto attacked first and destroyed my Lucario. I pulled out Salazzle and then Tyranitar, and the results were just the same. This Ditto was doing amazing against me. Thankfully, Garchomp was able to land a hit and get him down to 50.4 HP. From there, I used Gyarados' Stone Edge, and it actually double hit him. That was the only way I was gonna win, and somehow I defeated the level 90 gym leader without knowing what type is good against another. I did end up fighting the Rock Gym, however, I was not successful. The only moves that were working were fighting type, which I'm assuming work against Rock, so it looks like I'm gonna have to come back to this gym at another time. Maybe when I've trained up a Blaziken instead of my Salazzle? I think that would be a pretty good Pokemon to take on this gym, and I'm hoping I can get one very soon. So to do that, I went ahead and checked GTS. Unfortunately, there did not seem to be a Torchic there. I remember there was one there at one point, but I guess I missed the opportunity there. So I BRTP'd to a savanna biome in the afternoon, and this was a fun journey. I literally flew around here with not only my Elytra but Fly for so long looking for a Torchic. I get that they're rare, but this is getting annoying. I truly searched for days and days just to get a Torchic to spawn. I mean, the real reason I want this thing is that I can load it full of fighting moves and probably one of the fire moves, so that my chances of beating this rock gym are a lot higher. I just didn't realize how long of a process it would be to get the Torchic in the first place. I mean, I knew leveling him up later was going to be pretty long, but this is annoying. At the end of that process, there was actually a decoy that spawned in /Warp Safari. And once I got there, I realized that this thing was extremely far away. So the likelihood that someone's going to be there and get it is very, very low. And I haven't fought a decoy that I've been able to kill yet, so I really, really wanted this. I figured out the exact direction I had to fly in and then flew for a while. I used a combination of flying upwards and using my Elytra to go faster forwards, and eventually made it to the Articuno. As soon as I got there, someone initiated battle with it, but I later learned that they are not able to kill it. They were way too low level, and as soon as their battle ended, I started one. My first Pokemon was going to be Salazzle, and I used Dragon Pulse to get a little bit of damage on the Articuno. I didn't expect Salazzle to do much, and as soon as she died, I pulled out Lucario. Once I did, I didn't think close combat would work, so I used Meteor Mash, and it did quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, Lucario died before he was able to use another hit, but then I pulled out Gyarados and he was able to use Waterfall to get Articuno down to 23% health. After that, Tyranitar finished the battle for me. We've defeated our first decoy, a tier 1 Articuno, and we received a Shards Key. I instantly went to go open this thing up because I was excited to see what more shards I could get. I was given Reggie Steel shards, and to be fair, I actually have no idea what Pokemon that is, but I'm hoping over the course of my time on the server, I'll be able to get enough shards to at least get a legendary. You guys can do that too because shards keys are rewarded for so many things. You can do hunts, challenges, and even decoys like I just did and get shards keys and then earn yourself a legendary. Thanks to the lovely interruption of that decoy, a great surprise by the way, I did not find a Torchic, so I decided to advertise that I wanted one in GTS. Of course, it wasn't long before there was one that suddenly popped up in GTS, totally not my doing, and I bought that thing for 5k. It had a 67% IV rate, which wasn't great, but it's definitely not bad. From there, I started killing all the Pokemon around my area, hoping that the XP all would level it up quick. And yeah, I forgot about Warp XP for a moment, okay? Relax. Thankfully, I didn't waste too much time doing that, and the next day, I was at Warp XP. This thing is so much quicker, basically doing 10 levels at a time until you get to about 50, then it's a little slow, but it's so much better than wild killing. Along the way, Torchic obviously evolved into Combustion and then into Blaziken because, I mean, that just makes sense. That's what you're doing. You're leveling it up and then it evolved. Blaziken is actually my favorite fire-type Pokemon if we're excluding legendaries, and it's really nice to have him in the team. Although, I'm not going to be using him for fire because I need him for a gym, but I still think he's pretty cool. After that, I decided to start researching some moves that I wanted on Blaziken. First one was going to be Superpower because well, it's a really good move. And then I added Focus Blast to him because that's another fighting move that I can use. I was also going to keep Flame Blitz on it because it does a lot of damage and I do need a fire move. However, the next one I added to it was Focus Punch just because I needed all the fighting type moves that I could. And if I increase his speed a ton, Focus Punch will do a ton of damage unless it misses if he gets hit first, but we won't talk about that. So obviously the next task was going to be EV training. This guy had a lot of scattered EVs everywhere, so I had to lower those, and then he basically had maxed health and no speed. So I went ahead and increased his speed all the way up to max. If I'm gonna be using him as fighting, I'm gonna need him to attack first, especially against a level 100 gym. Then after that, I lowered his health a bit because that was at max and I didn't want that, although I did want a little bit of health just because I feel like I have a lot of glass cannons right now. Then I went ahead and trained up a little bit of his defense and a little bit of his special attack just so that it was kind of evened out. Overall, I just wanted to do my own build on this guy, and I hope it works out. If not, I guess I'll be looking up a build for Blaziken so that I don't ruin the gym fight. So apparently I thought I was running low on cash, and I don't know why. I had like $22,000, but I decided to grab out a Master Ball and then rename it, of course, because I was going to put this thing expensive in GTS. I renamed it Welcomin's Magic Ball because, I mean, technically it is a Master Ball, so it's actually worth something this time. But as soon as I put it up on GTS, it wasn't bought instantly. I think my ego's too high. I actually realized that the helper who was collecting the Welcomin set was not online, and maybe he'll get it eventually, so we'll see. Although $150,000 for a Master Ball is a little expensive. Okay, yes, I'm running out of money, but I'm gonna go shopping. Basically, I had an idea for a section behind my base where I could build, well, a fighting area. A Pokemon fighting area, okay? I'm not planning on killing any of you. Okay, maybe, but later. So I went to the store and bought a ton of things that I literally don't even need, but I'm still gonna do it because I can. Then, as soon as I got to base, I started building this really cool jungle-themed Pokeball, arena, I guess. I don't know exactly why I went with jungle theme, especially since I was going to be adding magic to it at one point, but I mean, Junglewood hasn't been used yet, so I may as well. Once I had the base done, I started using some lighting mechanics with these end rods, and I really like it because it's kind of magical in its own way. And this is the exact type of arena I want to be fighting on when all of you guys start challenging me. And then on day 64, I started showing off my area to some of the staff. They and I think it's coming along really well. To be fair, we do have some really cool building projects here. After I was done giving the tour, I went over to the rock gym because I had a feeling I was going to be able to beat it. I sat here for way too long trying to beat this gym. I mean, this is day 65, okay, and then I tried again on day 66, and I tried like 7 times on each day. It's not getting any better, boys and girls. I mean, at some points, I even switched out moves of Pokemon, and then I even went and got held items for the Pokemon. I was hoping that this would boost their speed or something, just do anything to help me out. It was definitely investment to beat this gym, for sure. I'm running low on cash. Now, with all of that prep, I was certain I was going to be able to beat this gym. Again, I tried for another 2 days and still couldn't beat it. At this point, I'm just getting furious, and I don't know what to do. I cannot beat it with my current team. Maybe I'm gonna have to get a different team, and maybe they're gonna be legendaries. Speaking of legendary, it's day funny number, and it's time I do spawn in my legendaries that are included with this rank. I have 7 vouchers, 4 for regular legendaries, and 3 for shiny. These choices were going to be extremely tough, especially since I'm not the best when it comes to picking legendaries. However, there are a few that I know I do want. The first up on my list of Pokemon to pick up was Zamazenta. I actually really like this wolf dog, and I do need a fighting type on my team. The second Pokemon I went ahead with was Zekrom. It's funny because I actually don't even use this guy, but truly I just like him as a Pokemon. My water pick was Kyogre because, well, I need water for this rock gym for sure. And last of the normal legendaries that are not shiny is Thundurus. Then for the shinies, I knew right off the bat I was grabbing myself a Mewtwo. I absolutely love Mewtwo, and there was no way I was going to be fighting anybody without him. Next up, I went with probably my second favorite legendary, Darkia. Not sure why I chose to make him legendary though, because he looks a little off, but I still like him. And my very last legendary shiny pick was Reshiram. I was going to replace him with Zekrom because I already had Thundurus, and I prefer Thundurus over Zekrom. And now that I have my final team, Mewtwo, Thundurus, Reshiram, Kyogre, Zamazenta, and Darkia, I have to really raise their EVs. Currently, they are not looking too hot with a set of 0. So I'm going to have to spend a lot of time raising all of these. And that's exactly what I did. I spent a very long time working on every single EV for every single Pokemon. Along the way, I had to fight with multiple people just to get the spots for, the higher level EV training. And that pretty much sucked because that cost me a lot of time not being able to constantly train the highest level for EVs. And then, of course, I had to wipe EVs from other things because I would accidentally train the wrong one and be on the wrong Pokemon because, I kind of have a second monitor full of all the stats that I need. And sometimes when I accidentally do something, I have to lower the stats of one Pokemon and then retrain him up. So yeah, it was a long process. But thankfully, the EVs are now all done on the entire team, and we are finally out of this area. Next up is we gotta level them up. I was in here way too long. Every single one of these Pokemon came like level 70 or higher, so training them with the XP all actually does take quite a while. I didn't realize how long this was truly going to take, especially with moves coming in that I was going to have to apply to the Pokemon, and this was a process. Thankfully, I did have the XP all. Without it, it would have taken twice or maybe 3 times as long, but the XP all did supply a decent amount of XP to every Pokemon. However, the main Pokemon that I was using right off the bat to kill everything, which was Thundurus currently, would level up much faster than everybody else, so I had to switch in and out between Pokemon, and yeah. Thankfully, I was finally done and got everyone to level 100, and we had to move on to all of their moves. Okay, so bad YouTuber alert. I went through, researched every move that I wanted, and put them on all of my Pokemon, and it didn't record. So, yeah, these are the current movesets that I have on each one of my Pokemon, and I'm hoping that all of this is going to be enough to beat this rock gym. So, yeah, sorry about that. We're just gonna skip past these couple of days, I guess. From there, I spent some time working on held items. I knew that I could already kind of, Dynamax my Pokemon, so I didn't really need to Mega them. So I was just kind of going through and looking up which Pokemon would, take a better type of held item. Unfortunately, at one point, I tried to put held items on these legendaries, and they just didn't work. Darkia was the only one who would accept a life orb. That was it. Which really kind of sucks, because this rock gym is not to be messed with. Why do you think I have an entire legendary team just to beat it? And with this team, it was time to go see if I really could beat this rock gym. The first time around, I had no clue how any of my moves were going to affect these rock guys, and I didn't know who was going to be good against who. So my entire team basically got wiped by a jellyfish. Oh, we're back to the Caterpie days. But on my second attempt, we actually made it somewhere. I used Zamazenta to close combat Shuckle 3 or 4 times until he finally died. Once one of his Pokemon was dead, he pulled out Regirock, and I pulled out Kyogre. It's a completely different type of Pokemon, so the hit wasn't going to do as much. Then I Dynamaxed him and instantly one-shot Regirock. Unfortunately, my Kyogre died, but did 50% health to the next Pokemon. I then probably made the worst mistake ever and pulled out my Reshiram, and he died instantly with only doing a little bit of damage. Then Thundurus was able to die and kill the Pokemon, but now I'm into a 3v3. From there, he pulled out a Pokemon that was going to do sucky against my Mewtwo, and he ended up pulling out a Tyranitar, which I one-shot. Then he pulled out that stupid jellyfish, and my Mewtwo one-shot it as well. well. Now, it was a 1v2 in like 11 HP, so my Mewtwo was easily gonna go down, and I was pretty screwed. I pulled out Darkia just hoping that maybe he would survive for a hit, but that didn't even happen. Darkia was dead in one single shot. Now it's up to my Zamazenta. He used close combat to survive at 50% HP, and finally, we beat this rock gym. Oh, yes! Oh, finally, I beat this stupid gym! Oh, haha, get wrecked, you little nerd. My next goal was to go into the Dark Safari, but to do that, I'm gonna need way better gear. Currently, I'm flying around with an Elytra, and I will get one-tapped. So I'm here at the store buying things that I think would look cool around an enchantment setup. I don't really want to build a building for it, and I kind of came up with this meteor idea. Along the way, I grabbed a ton of different concrete, glass, wool, endstone bricks, quartz, just random things I could use. Hopefully, all of these things that I totally thought out beforehand are gonna work together. Then it was just time to make the meteor. I dug out a hole, put the enchantment table inside, and then just started layering endstone bricks, purple wool, glass, all of it around. Then I used end rods for the lighting, replaced some of the glass with pink glass, and then it was done. Now it was time to enchant. My helmet gave me prot 4, my boots gave me prot 3, feather falling 4, which is pretty nice. Then things started to go downhill when my chestplate gave me blast protection, and then my leggings only gave me fire prot. Not the best set in the world. However, I did go back, make a second set of pants, get prot 3 on those, and then later combine them so that I had at least a decent set of armor. Hey, you know what? Getting full protection something diamond isn't too bad in 100 days. Especially when your main goal is around something completely other than armor. Then I read something about slash speed, and oh boy is it speedy. I literally was loving going this fast. I don't know why I loved it, but I did. After that, I also figured out that the highest speed setting is speed 25. So I was the Flash. I don't know why this is in the game, but I love it. After running around the map for a little bit, I forgot that I could make easy money at slash warp mine. I literally haven't even been here once, and I'm totally in it for capitalism at this point. I completely forgot that this area even existed for money. So I wanted to do my very own test. I wanted to mine out every single mine that there was. There are currently 3. There's the free one, there's the trainee one, and there is the member version. I'm gonna mine out each and every one and see how easy it is to get money and see which mine does the best. I'm thinking it's gonna be member. And after spending a day in this mine, it was only about 3 grand. Not the best. I then used 100 grand of my money to upgrade to trainer and check out this new mine. This one here is clearly a ton bigger and has so many more ores, as well as XP, which would have really helped me earlier when I was trying to get better levels for my gear. I mean, realistically, there's also diamonds everywhere here, so yeah, this one's gonna be better than the last one. And with not too long spent at this mine alone, I was able to make over double what I made previously. So far, using that 100 grand to get here is definitely worth it. Next up was the member mine that I purchased for $1 million. Oh, this thing better be worth it. As soon as I got there, this place was completely uncontested, and I'm pretty sure I know why. But there were diamonds and emeralds everywhere, which are going to sell for so much more than just the regular old redstone, stone, and then iron. So I set out on my day-long conquest to see how much money I could actually get from this mine alone. Overall, if you put your back into it, you can make about 20 grand working here in the same amount of time it would take for you to make 3 grand at the original mine. Personally, I'm pretty bad at math, so I'm not going to math out all those numbers there, million versus 100K wise, but I'm gonna say the member mine's a little bit better. But this isn't prison, so back to Pokemon. I continued looking around the donor warps area and found myself in a boss's room. This entire area is full of trainers that have really high level Pokemon that will give you the ability to summon bosses at any point in the overworld. So I definitely spent a few days in here killing off every single one of these NPCs so that I could get the ability to summon a ton of boss Pokemon at my base. It wasn't too difficult, just a long process, as each and every one of these NPCs had 6 Pokemon each, and I, kind of had to keep healing my Pokemon, and then Dynamaxing my Mewtwo, and then continuing to kill every single person there because my Mewtwo's just better. Once I got back to base, there was actually a man flying around with a Zapdos above my area. I realized that this was one of my neighbors who was actually online at the time. He even challenged me to a battle, which I didn't think that anyone would ever do, especially after I showed him all of my legendaries, but hey, here we are. He actually did end up taking down one of my Pokemon along the way, which I kind of was a little shocked about, and I probably shouldn't have let happen, but at the same time, he did very well. I'm also kind of shocked at the amount of like time that other people have had on the server compared to me, and they're still rocking some legendaries. Overall, very good fight, and since he's my neighbor, he got a neighbor bonus, and I started spawning in the bosses with him and my other neighbor, and we all just started fighting them. It was pretty fun, as well as I definitely gave them some rare candies and stuff because, you know what, they decided to come over here and become my neighbor so they could level up their Pokemon a little bit quicker. Doesn't hurt to help people, doesn't hurt to help. Funny part is that after hanging out with my neighbors, I was challenged to another fight. I don't know what's happening here. I feel like people don't realize I have a full team of legendaries, so, I mean, I probably shouldn't have a full team of legendaries. I didn't catch a single one, but hey, here we are. Anyway, he started with a Garchomp, and I was like, yeah, you know what? My Mewtwo's just freaking OP, so I'm just gonna use him the entire time because he's awesome. And overall, it definitely worked, and Garchomp was not able to do anything to me. As soon as that was over, he started showing off some of his other Pokemon that were not even level 100 yet, so I started feeling kinda bad. However, Mewtwo was able to fight off another one, and then I switched him out for Reshiram to go against Gengar, and he absolutely destroyed him. From there, I went ahead and tried to kill his Scizor, but he pulled him out, and he pulled out a Mewtwo instead, and then he Y-evolved his Mewtwo. Crazy thing is that later I figured out that his IVs on his Mewtwo were actually better than mine. But that Y evolution literally did nothing, and my Reshiram killed him in another hit. From there, only a Zapdos pulled out, and my Reshiram fainted on impact, but I was able to pull out my Thundurus and Thunderbolt his Zapdos. After that, it was just the FaZe clan member, and we just destroyed him too. Good fight overall, but I think I'm a little too OP at this point. Then after that, I went back to my original task of killing off all of the bosses that I had gotten before and seeing what kind of loot I actually got from them. It did take me a little while to kill off all of them because it spawned 3 every single time, but afterwards I was able to show off some loot and I got a lot of stuff. There was a ton of XP stuff, a ton of held items, and honestly I think I got like 20k overall without even trying. Bosses are pretty fun to fight, and I mean, technically they spawn in the wild, so you don't even have to do what I've been doing for them. So you remember how, you know, those few odd days ago I decided to make diamond armor so I could go into Dark Safari? Well, today was the day. I put up my team of legendaries because I wasn't going to risk their lives. I'm not that dumb. Especially since in the Dark Safari you lose a Pokemon and I don't want to lose a legendary. So I pulled out my B team, which was originally my A team, so sorry guys, you got demoted. Then I headed over to the Dark Safari and PvP is enabled. Dying will take 5k and you will also lose all of your items, which I don't really care about too much right now. And you lose a Pokemon, not Pog. Once I was in, however, this place looked a bit creepy. And then I went on an exploring fest. First up, there was this entire little market area for things coming soon to the Dark Safari, and I cannot wait to see some of these shops open. Then, of course, there's the map itself that I kind of just went out and explored, hoping that no one was around here to kill me. Because truly, Diamond Armor isn't even the best in Pixelmon, and I didn't even realize that. I thought Diamond was like the best armor to have, but it's actually not. At one point, I even had to buy food because I completely forgot that that was a thing. Overall, this place is looking really, really nice. I love the difference in biomes, and I even stumbled across these mobs at one point, and I thought I was gonna die. They are very, very scary. These spectral wither skeletons literally take 0 damage. I don't understand why they're so OP, but I just couldn't mess with them. At one point, I hit one in the lava and just left him, okay? I was not gonna deal with this guy. And after being in here for quite some time, a Dark Safari crate finally spawned. It was a tier 5 crate as well, so I was very hyped to go find this thing. As I was making my way over there, I thought I was gonna be free and clear until this random guy who has so much faster boots or something than me showed up. He rushed over and then I heard thousands of gas start shooting. I mean, this place was a madhouse of mobs. I had no idea what was going on here. I thought I was looking for an actual chest, but apparently it was like the head of a chest on the ground that I had to right click and go find and then stay next to it. I remember messing with these mobs earlier and this place is literally insane. I tried claiming the crate, but there were too many mobs there for me. I was trying to work with this guy a little bit, but I did kind of want his armor since he was Speedy Boy. And then he started floating away. I don't know what that's all about. And then right in front of me, he popped. He fell to the ground and died. So I went ahead and grabbed up all of his loot. And then I realized that there was another Speedy man who was trying to kill me. He had a diamond sword and the full Speedy gear. That was not good for me. I was way too slow for that. So I tried my best to start switching out all of the armor that I had just gotten from the guy who fell. If I was going to fight this guy, I was going to need to be speedy. So I started outrunning this guy a little bit, doing some jukes here and there just so I could get away from him, and then start using my own sword that I got from this guy on him. He was leaving a little bit, so I went to try and claim this chest, but there was just no way I was going to get it in time. He came back and we actually started a brawl. Luckily, this sword did so much damage to him that he started running away and trying to gap. Thankfully, I've been insane at PvP my entire life, so there was no way I was going to let this guy kill me. Then the mob started helping me out, and I was finally able to kill this man. That means I just got 2 sets of Thunder Shard armor, which I've never even heard of, and now I have this amazing sword, and I get to claim this chest. Once I got back over to the crate, it was really hard keeping all the mobs off of me. Even in this armor, I wasn't doing the best health-wise. I had to keep fighting off the spectral wither skeleton, and it was getting way too close for comfort. At one point, I even had to gap because I was getting so low. The only goal I had was to stay as close to this thing as possible, getting down super low HP-wise. I was literally at half a heart fighting off these guys. It was crazy. I'm so shocked I was able to survive. Then my only goal was to just keep this wither skeleton back while the crate popped in my inventory and I got so many goodies. Then, thanks to this guy's thunder armor, I was able to quickly leave this place forever. That was so scary. I was totally not prepared for it whatsoever. So if I'm going back in there, I'm gonna need way better stuff. I looked at the things that I got. I got some crate keys, I got a master ball, a ton of different Pokeballs, tons of rare candy, and even a Pokemon plushie. From there, I started organizing all the things I gotten from this place, and I have some really nice gear now. I also didn't even realize, but I have 61 levels. That is insane. That means I can enchant so much more now. Although I think I'm gonna have to leave everything in here for 200 days because I'm running out of time. But before this 100-day saga ends, I was told something horrific. I followed their instructions and warped to /gyms, read a little bit, and realized that there are even more gyms. I couldn't believe my eyes. There were challenge mode gyms that combine different types of Pokemon. I was so upset I had to go check this out. There's no way this is right. My blood vessels were bursting at this point because there was no way I wanted to take on any more gyms ever, even in 200 days. But I got to the top and I saw him, the king. The first gym leader I would have to beat in 200 days stood before me. More battles I did not think I could win. Oh, you're still here. Why are you still here? The video ended a little while ago. That was day 100. I don't know what you guys are still doing here. So, I mean, you can leave at any point. I mean, I'm not pressuring you. I'm gonna go this way. You guys do whatever. Click one of these videos here, and you'll see more of me. But I'm out of here. I gotta go this way. Or yeah, this way. All right, bye everybody.